Also with us here in the studio in Abuja is Reverend Udochi Majesty Odikanwa, Senior Pastor and General Overseer of the Restoration Life Assembly International here in Abuja. Thank you, Reverend.
Thank you so much for having me. God bless you. Thank you.
All right, also here with us in the Abuja studios, would like to welcome Venerable Oludare Otoki, who is the Vicar of the Basilica of Grace, Anglican Communion in Gudu, Abuja. Venerable Otoki, a pleasure to have you with us this morning.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay. Good day, viewers at home.
All right.
Reverend Udochi Odikanwa, and I'm actually going to ask, when or how the word good, came to be attached to Easter, because you had the Thursday preceding the crucifixion is identified as Holy Thursday, and in other climes you have Easter Friday, Easter Sunday, and Easter month, that's the resurrection. So how did we come to attach good to a day, of the crucifixion?
Thank you so much for, first of all, I'm so highly elated of being here. Looking at it from a kind of a social analytical view of this Easter celebration, you are talking about good that is attached to today because we have a master. We have a mentality that there was a personality that came for rescue. There was a personality, a leader, not just a Christian leader, a moral leader, a spiritual leader, a sociological leader, an opinion leader. A leader the Jews and the non-Jews believed in. And they believed that this personality left his ego, left all his abased personality traits, and abased himself for the nobody to be somebody. And so he could have seated in his father's throne and say, I'm not going to come. But he came, he chose to die. And because he chose to die, it was called good for the simplicity of the sacrifice. Now, why was it called good? Because without the death of Jesus, there couldn't have been Christianity. Christianity came to be because Jesus chose to die. And because he chose to die, he gave us an option of escape. Before, man was everlastingly doomed for condemnation from the first Adam, where he disappointed God. But he became the second Adam who brought an option. And so, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. And now whosoever believe in him will not perish. Before it was not so. But Jesus, it is now good because he now fulfilled his coming on earth. One thing is for somebody to be born. Another thing is for the person to have an assignment. Another thing also is for the person to complete the assignment. Jesus was born. Jesus was given an assignment. And Jesus completed the assignment. So the completion of the assignment is what has attached the nomenclature, good. And so let me say something now. No, as leaders, political, religious, opinion leaders and all that, I think people should be able to attach our existence on earth as good. When you are leaving an office as a civil servant, when you are retiring, people should be able to tag all your years of staying in that office as good. As a father, when you are leaving your children in your old age, they should be able to tag your coming to them as good. As a mother, as a leader. And so Jesus is now a very pivotal example for both Christians and non-Christians. And so that's why he's called good.
Okay. The Reverend Udochi, sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice. Why is sacrifice such a big challenge to humanity?
Yes, just borrowing from what Reverend have just said. As I said before, sacrifice simply is defined as leaving your comfort zone, discomforting yourself in order to comfort someone who is discomforted already. That's number one. And sacrifice does not go without some of the social challenges. My first degree in the university was sociology. And we know very well that there is what we call peer pressure, peer groups. In the sociological settings, you will see some friends that will tell you, what are you trying to do? Why do you think you should give your car to this man? Even when you have the instinct to do that. Why do you think as a boss in the office, you should condescend so low in trying to sacrifice this or apologize to this junior staff? I mean, why will you be very stupid? Somebody will put it that way. Now, it's a peer pressure. They are coming against your emotional intelligence, trying to undermine you. And also in psychology, there is this man called Lombroso. He says, show me your friend and I will tell you whom you are. Jesus had supportive friends. In making sacrifice, you must also make sure you know the people surrounding you. They are very, very empirical to your survival. Very imperative. Now, when you read the book of Matthew, chapter number 27, from verse number 1 down to 3, the Bible says that when Jesus was about being crucified, the chief priests, the scribes, Judas Iscariot, they plotted to kill him. That is Matthew 27 from verse number 1. Now, why the chief priests? These are some of the societal, stratification of people that are seen in the society. I mean, because in the society you see so many stratificational cadre. The last is the apex of the cadre of the society. A-P-E-X as in Zenda. Now, these chief priests, they were in the apex. These were the people Jesus looked at as, oh, these are good people and all that. But they still plotted against him. They still came up against him. Why does he think he's the king of the Jews and he wants to, present himself as a Messiah and all that? I think we should kill him. He saw those people. Even a man who was his treasurer, Judas Iscariot. This man also ganged up to come to betray him. But Jesus forgave him. But their gang up never stopped Jesus not to have died for me and you. He pressed on. Now, what does that go to show us? Let us navigate a little bit from the Bible circle. Let's go to the society right now. Our leaders and even the led should be people who has a high resonance of emotional intelligence. In leading your people, in making sacrifice, you must have what we call emotional stamina to do that. Because somebody who is mentally retarded, who is not emotionally stable, cannot make sacrifice. And that's why sacrifice is very, very important for you when you are making sacrifice. Mind the type of company you keep and take the resolution and say, I'm going out for this, I'm not turning back. You must be somebody who is stable, not somebody who is waved about by every winds of doctrine. Now, Jesus had that emotional intelligence. He understood what his people wanted. He understood what God the Father wanted. And he understood his mission. Now, what are we trying to say? Why is sacrifice very challenging? Just like Brookings have said, it's challenging because of the peer pressures around you, the family settings, the sociological settings. Now, in sociology, that's what we call the agents of socialization. You talk about the family being the number one primary agent of socialization. Now, when you grow up in a family, it's very important for you to know that some family members will tell you, why are you trying to do that thing? Why do you want to, risk your life in joining the military? You want to defend the nation? You are the only son I have. Why will you die for this nation that doesn't even care for anybody that dies, in the course of duty? Look at the other man that died. They didn't do anything. And you say you want to die. You are my first son. You are my only child. But he beholds on that agent of the society, the son. He quotes right now to say, Mama, I think I'm poised towards making the sacrifice to unite Nigeria together. I'm saying, for instance, it's a metaphoric statement now. Now, what we are saying is that in sacrifice, we must have the emotional stamina. We must be resolute, committed to go after what we want. If you are convinced about it, God have told you, despite of the peer pressure, we must stand. Jesus had that, and today all powers in heaven and on earth is given to him because he was determined to save humanity.
All right.
Reverend Udochi, in your opinion, what ways can we further exploit for sacrifice towards the ends of sustainable peace in our country?
Thank you so much. Sacrifice, as I've always defined, maintaining the peace of another in order to discomfort yourself at a particular instance or level. I will be taking your question from the angle of types of sacrifice. When you talk about sacrifice, we have to break it down. We have to break it down so that a layman will understand and it doesn't become very ambiguous for somebody to say, these are pastors speaking now. But let them also see that these are informations being dished out. Not that pastors are speaking on Easter, something or something, but this is some of the things, norms that will help our society. If you talk about sacrifice without making it your culture, culture is a way of life, according to Taco Passing 1992, a way of life of a particular set of people. The way they reason, the way they dress, and the way they act. And so when we come in this nation, so many people have of the opinion Nigeria is a corrupt nation, but I'm not of that opinion. In every 12, you must have a Judas. It doesn't mean you are using a hypothetical statement to generalize the whole citizen of this nation. And what we are going to do in that is to make sure we prove our neighbors. We prove the skeptics wrong. We prove everybody around us, even in the international community. How? Number one, going into the types of sacrifice that Jesus came to stand as a symbolic reasoning opinion to lots of people. Number one is what we call truth sacrifice. Truth sacrifice in the sense something happened here now, and there is an inquiry. Who did this? Everybody say, I'm not the one. But it takes a man of sacrifice. It takes a man of character to say, I'm the one. Or, I saw with my eyes, this is the person. That's number one. Because in sacrificing, you must bring down your ego. Allow your ED to do the work. ID. You must allow your self-ego and what people will say to get down. You see, you ask the question, Brookies, you said, why is it difficult for people to sacrifice? And I made a statement of peer pressure. I made a statement of socialization. The people you have around you can socialize you into becoming a fraudster, into becoming, a parasite even. Somebody who is very lazy, you just base on people. You want leaders to sacrifice your food, sacrifice the shoe you are going to wear, sacrifice everything. Even how you are going to sleep with your wife, you want them to sacrifice about it. Everybody say, Mr. President, you must do this. Oh, very fantastic. Leaders are voted, to take care of the land. But we must know also that there are so many things we will start behaviorally as individuals. We're having it as a cradle of culture to imbibe in our lives in helping the nation, the society, and helping the leaders.
You've talked about sacrifice of truth. We're running out of time.
All right. Now, to lead well. Now, the sacrifice of truth, you must stand on truth at all times. And also the sacrifice of contentment. You just have to be contented with what you have and don't go after looting and looting, because vanity upon vanity, everything is vanity. And the last one I would like to say before we round up is the sacrifice of help. Now, it's different from sacrifice. You go to help, you look for the destitute, you look for the downtrodden. Go to the rural areas. There are people who cannot eat. They only drink water to go to bed. They can't sacrifice.
In just few words.
Yes.
What kind of sacrifice with regards to insecurity, what kind of sacrifice would, let's say, not Nigerians or
Yes.
Christians, make at this point in time?
It's just a sacrifice of truth. The sacrifice of truth. And I repeat again, the sacrifice of truth. Just stand on the truth. Don't do whatever that is false. Don't engage yourself in anything that will undermine your neighbor's reputation. Deliberately. Or the nation, or the people in power because you are not in power. Or the people out of power because they are out of power. You just have to stand on the truth. Christians and non-Christians, Jesus stood for truth. He stood for sacrifice. He spoke the truth even when his own people betrayed him. And so we must be poised into speaking the truth, going for what we want to the glory of God, even when people around us seems to be against us.
All right. Thank you very much.